had most of the schools from the area, the high school people. And when it started, that was really the thing to do. I mean, a lot of them really enjoyed that.
Hi, this is Ed Mason. For music, variety, and dancing fun, join us at the Hop this afternoon at 5:30.
That was Ed Mason of the Hop, Captain Eddie, and the Little Rascals shows here on WCIA.
Yeah, great shows that are a part of WCIA's history, which people still talk about today fondly.
And now joining us to share more great stories, Judy Frazier, Paul Davis, and Alan Trickle. Welcome. This is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
So many stories and memories. I don't know how we're going to pack them into just a couple of minutes.
I don't either. We are going to try. And we're going to start with Paul, news director, anchor here, who is very, not old, but very young at heart, right?
Yes.
He's mature. We are not old.
That's right.
Aging gracefully.
That's right. That's right.
How has news and journalism changed since you were here?
Well, there's a lot more of it. You know, fortunately, I never had to work the 5 to 7 a.m. newscast. And you know, and there are a lot of more hours of news, and of course, if you watch too much of it, it's repetitive, and you start to get tired of it. But I never do. I'm a critiquer of everything we do, and I really think the content is pretty good. I think people have learned from the past what mistakes to avoid, and video is so much better. We were film, first of all, black and white film, then color film, then tape, and it's so much clearer and beautiful video today. I wish I was back to start over, but not on the 5 to 7 shift.
Speaking of needing clear film, one of the stories that I'm going to say you're best known for, but certainly is a memory from when you were here.
It's black and white, by the way.
Involved the nudist colony. So you're going to have to share what happened.
Well, I got a news release one day, and it said they were going to, a nudist group was going to acquire a strip mine. And I could not resist the potential puns in that story.
There are lots of them there, aren't there?
I think we actually have footage of that if we want to take a look at it here.
Landowner Joseph Frasca is all sunshine and health financially. He's been offered money by the nudists for the land, and in turn agrees to sell the land to any objectors if they could match the nudists' offer. The nudists won't come if there is strong opposition in the community. Well, now the matter is clothed in controversy. This is Paul Davis in a strip mine area of central Illinois.
That is fantastic.
Were you in your birthday suit?
What a physique you had.
Bill Mason, the photographer, shot that with me. Shot just above the belt. And the pants were on, but the shirt was off. Yeah.
And clothed in controversy. I loved it. Well played. Well played with that.
Oh, my goodness. So many fun times that I'm sure you have fond memories of.
That was fun. And that story has probably run more than anything I ever did here.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Alan, let's move on to you. What memories do you have from your time here? And maybe pick a favorite of all of them.
Gosh, there's so many. I think one of the things was all the notable people that I got to meet. You know, I had the privilege of meeting all the Van Dykes and Willie Nelson and Donald O'Connor, Bobby Short, Red Skelton. Just the notable people that I got to run across to meet.
And you were here from 1979 to 1995. You actually started when Paul was the news director.
Yeah, Paul was news director when I started.
And the T-Pack fire was one of the stories that you covered at that time?
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. The night that happened, I can't remember what time it was, but it was late. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was a fatality out on Interstate 74 west of Danville. And I came out of my driveway. I kind of lived out in the country. And I came out, got to the end of my driveway, and at the same time, there was an explosion over at T-Pack. And I sat there for a second, where do I go, to the fatality or the explosion? And I decided to go to the explosion, and it was only probably a 5-minute drive from where I lived. And I got shots of the fire trucks getting there.
Wow.
Wow, my goodness. We were looking at some of those pictures just a few minutes ago. That's amazing.
I want to hear about the pool incident, though. There's a story about a pool incident with you guys.
I remember that.
You got the video of the pool incident?
They apparently all know this story.
Yes.
So what happened? Tell us the story with the pool incident.
Well, I confess it was prearranged. I was wearing my wash and wear suit from Sears, and I had on old shoes, And Mr. Roberts, the wonderful Mr. Roberts, pushed me into the pool.
Yes, he did.
Because I had apparently insulted him. And we knew it was coming, but it was still a funny piece of video. Then he comes in to rescue me.
Oh my gosh.
The lifeguard.
Now today, all the tech guys should be going, our microphones are in the pool.
Well, if you look at the film again sometime, you'll notice I hand it off.
You gave a little
nice.
toss
Just
there.
in time.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Judy, I think it's your turn. What,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, Paul and I were just talking about that when I've been, well, of the 65 years, I was here 34 of them, so half of it. But when I was hired, I came in and I sat down with Paul, and I guess I mentioned to you that that I did the weather in Wisconsin and Boston and so forth. And what did you say?
Well, she'd come into my office, and she was still standing. And she said, I'm Judy. I said, yes. And I knew she was in the building. And she said that I used to do the weather in Madison. I said, have a seat.
And then he said, well, we have a weekend weather opening. And this was a Tuesday. And he said, after we talked and so forth, he said, can you start Saturday? And I said, wait a minute, I was raising children. I was sitting, at home. I haven't done the weather in 8 years, and I was unfamiliar with.
And there you are doing it so well.
Oh my God! Oh,
I grew up watching Judy.
Me
That
too.
is how I remember.
too.
look at the antiquated and simplistic way we used to do the weather.
Judy was always Miss Fashionable too.
She was.
She always
She
looked
was.
so great.
Setting
Okay.
champagne fashion trends.
Stick around because we've got lots more catching up and celebrating to do. But as we go to break, here's another special anniversary message.
Wow, 65 years. Congratulations on just always being that broadcast icon there in Champaign, Urbana, Decatur, and Springfield. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Ketchmark, and I had the honor of working at WCIA from 2006 to 2011. I did about every shift y'all have, weekends, morning show, the weekday evening shows, and I worked alongside some amazing people. I would have to say one of my best memories is focused around Robert Reese. That man, gosh, he left a lasting impact on my life, just like he did with all of yours. But I remember whenever I first started working there, I was a college student, and let's just say I hadn't rested well enough, and I accidentally fell asleep in the weather office next to the chroma key wall. Well, Robert, for some reason, had a bullhorn and used it to wake me up because it was, 5, 6 in the morning. So I think it was him and a combination of Rob Collins. They were always up to something, including moving my car at one point to mess with me. But I really do have fond memories, of working there in Central Illinois. That's where I grew up and was born and raised. Since then, my family and we moved to Indianapolis after working at WCIA, and now most recently we live in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Queen City, where we have 2 kids. My daughter, who I was pregnant with whenever I left WCIA, she is now 7. Can you guys believe it? Stella is 7. And then we also had a son 2 years ago, Connor Michael. He is the light of my life. He is just such the sweetest boy. And of course, my husband Mitch and I continue to truck on. We actually just celebrated 10 years of wedded bliss. But so wonderful to be able to even say hello to you guys. And again, congratulations on 65 years.